I believe that affirmative action is a legitimate way to make just recompense for the fact that blacks were kept back for so long. And I would recommend it as a strategy for any other group in American society that were so abused. Now, I would like, I think, to be Alice in Wonderland here and say, all right, we're all Americans, and that's that. But the problem is this, that the distribution of power in this society is not equal. And if we simply left it at that, what would happen is what really has happened to affirmative action. Blacks have benefited very little from affirmative action. And those groups that have benefited most from affirmative action have been, ironically, white. And most of them, of course, have been white women. Now, that's not to say we don't think that they should have. I think they should have, because they have also been exploited in this society. But the fact of the matter is that the natural workings of power has meant that whites have benefited more than blacks, even from affirmative action. So that if we simply leave it at that, that is what will happen every time, because of the inequalities of power.
Well, first of all, I don't think I would have designed a system, a remedy for that somebody else will benefit from. But, you know, I think that one point lost in all this discussion about the problems and the progress that blacks have made is the, we talked about it a little bit, but there's a rather startling statistic, and that is if you take blacks who have high school education, who get married and stay married, who take any kind of job, even if it's a minimum wage job, the rate of poverty among that group of people who can be characterized like that is 4%. And what we're saying, you know, what we're doing is we're saying that much of the problems that black people face are from people who behave in different ways than that. That is, people who do not behave according to the old cultural values of going through school, getting out of school, getting married and staying married, and taking a job. Now, so it seems like the solution is, well, we need to teach people, black people, that, well, it's a good idea to finish school. It's a good idea for girls to keep their legs closed until they get married. It's a good idea for you to get a job rather than to be standing on street corners. People talk about poverty and problems, and they talk about, well, we need this government program, we need this solution, et cetera, et cetera. And I ask, well, what about hard work and sacrifice? Hard work and sacrifice. That is, that's how you, as professor at Howard University, quote, eradicated some of the effects of slavery. That's how I eradicated that's how this middle class, middle class suburbs of Washington, blacks in the middle class suburbs of Washington, they make from $1,000 to $5,000 more than the average white across the country. And most people move up the economic ladder by hard work and sacrifice. Now, what has happened over the years is that so-called black leaders have demeaned hard work and sacrifice. They say somebody owes you something. Wait for your 40 acres and a mule. Well, you're going to be waiting a long time before somebody pays you 40 acres and a mule.
Bill, that's absolutely ridiculous. You can't name one black leader and one incident who has ever said that.
What?
Who has ever said
the government owes us stuff?
Who has ever said that individuals should not work hard and should not save their money and should not be thrifty. You can't name one black leader who has ever said that.
He does not have to say that.
And I think to the extent that we have said rely on the government for a few things that we need, I think that we really should rely on the government. We ought to have a two-track strategy. Self-help, which has really brought us to this point, and a program which challenges government to do all that it can